Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Andrea, the host of Andrea Speaks TV, and I'm here to bring you commentary you can use. So, how are you all doing? Happy Tuesday. Today is Tuesday, right? Look, let me check the calendar and make sure I'm saying the right date. Yes, today is Tuesday. So, I hope that you all are doing well, you and your families. And I want to say thank you all so much for your patience, for your support. It seems like it's been you all know I've been going live different locations, whether I'm in the grocery store, whether I am in some other type of store, just really being on the ground, showing you all exactly what's going on. But it seems like it's been a while since I've, sat down in my, place, my special place where I broadcast my videos. So I want to come on and say hello, hello. Where I am on the East Coast, it's actually 1:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So thank you all so much for taking time out of your day to tune in and get this information. So if you're watching now live or if you're watching by the replay, please say hello in the chat. I appreciate you all so, so much. And I just want to say thank you all for your support. So, y'all, you seen the title. First of all, let me say this, y'all. Hasn't there, and I don't say this to be funny. This is, I say this in a way that is serious, but it's almost like, for those of us, who have been, those of you who have been rocking with me right here on the channel over this past year, some of the things that are happening, we can say that okay, we because we've been following this and talking about this for some time now. We can kind of say that many things. Okay, we saw this coming because we talked about this many months ago, and now here we are. Fast forward in May 2022. So, what I was going to say is, hasn't there been so much going on? What are your thoughts on that? There's so much to talk about. I'm actually going to be back live later on tonight where we're going to be talking about several different topics. So I don't have a time yet because I have several things that I have to do following this video, including getting out to vote. I know in my state we're voting today. Today is an election day. So I want to get out and exercise my right to vote. And so I have that and several other things that I will be doing. But I did want to stop and take a moment and bring you all some news and information. But before we do that, you all please make sure if you have not subscribed to the channel, be sure to subscribe so that whenever I do go live, like I am now, you'll be notified, or you can, watch the video later on at your convenience. Subscribe to the channel, invite your family members and friends to subscribe. Some of you all may have, I've had a chance to talk with people, even people that I know personally. And they said, you know what, Andrea, you talked about this many months ago. You talked about some of the things that we're seeing happen now. You talked about this many months ago. And so, for that reason, many people who, I'm not saying that they doubted me in the beginning when I first started my YouTube channel. Hello to everyone watching. Thank you all so much for your support. I really appreciate you all coming on and being a part of the channel today. Someone said, do you have a PayPal tip jar? You know what? I actually haven't set that up yet. That may be something I consider in the future, but my main focus, right now is just getting the information out to you all. You all know, well, some people, I can't assume that everyone has been here from day one, but I've never asked you all to donate any money to the channel. I know there are some YouTubers out there who post their Cash App, their PayPal, things like that, but that's just something that I haven't chosen to do. Starting out with my channel, so I don't have that as of right now, but that may be something that I consider in the future. So, but thank you so much. So the way that you can help me is by sharing my channel, liking the video, and also subscribing and inviting others to subscribe as well. So thank you so much for your support with that. Okay. So also I do have a website. I do have a website, which is preparewithandrea.com. So for those of you who, like me, who have been preparing, getting your emergency food supply together and your survival needs, make sure, or if it's something that, you know what, you haven't even considered and you're saying, okay, with everything going on, I need to go ahead and be getting my emergency food supply, my survival needs, because we don't know which way this thing is going. It's something new happening every day. Make sure you check out my website, which is preparewithandrea.com, and you can purchase things that you need there. Okay. I also have a video on the channel where I explain how to actually go to my website and make a purchase. So I'll probably go back after this video and I'll put a link to the video where I'll show you how to place an order in the comments. Okay. Also, if you are on Instagram, be sure to follow me on Instagram at AndreaSpeaksTV.com. Again, you can follow me on Instagram at AndreaSpeaksTV.com. I just today did my first ever Instagram live video. So head over to my Instagram page. Make sure you subscribe. Check out the video that I did and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Okay, y'all. So let's go ahead and talk about it. We're here today because I want to give you a warning or a heads up that you need to get ready to pay more money for electronics. So I just want to know, by show of hands in the chat, let me know, is anyone in the market to purchase, whether you're purchasing a new phone, any type of electronic, a tablet, a laptop, anybody in the market to purchase some electronics? Now, I was considering, maybe getting upgrading to a newer iPad. But with this recent news, I don't know if I'm going to do that. So let's talk about it, y'all. So the information that I want to talk to you all about today actually comes from CNBC. It comes from CNBC. And the title of the article, actually, let me share my screen with you so that you can see the headline on the screen. Thank you all so much. I appreciate your support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me put it up on the screen for you all. This information comes from CNBC. All right. Thank you all so much. Make sure you like this video, share this video, and subscribe to the channel. Okay, let me share my screen with you. Now, earlier, as I was trying to set this up before I began the live broadcast, there was a slight delay, so I apologize if it's slow to come screen. Okay. Let me check one thing before I begin. Again, thank you all so much for your support, those who are watching now live, or if you're watching by replay. Okay. All right, let's see. Let me make sure you all let me know. Are you able to hear me? Are you able to see me? Is it a delay? Is there a lag? You all let me know before we get started. Is there a lag? You all let me know before we get started. Okay. All right. I think we're good to go. So the information that I'm sharing with you all, this does come from CNBC. And the title article is Electronics. Electronics are set to get even more expensive as chip giants hike their prices. So I actually never did a video about the chip shortage. I think I'm pretty sure I talked about it, but I never did a video where I explained exactly what was going on. But the chips, or semiconductors rather, I did some research, and basically what I found out is that there is a component, a chip, um, or a semiconductor, as they are called. And basically, what it is thank you all so much for your support. Okay, basically, what it is, it's a substance or some type of material that is able to conduct electricity, and that in turn allows different electronics, whether it's computers, other electronic devices, so apparently, the course of the pandemic, there was a shortage of this component or this substance. So here we are again in May 2022, and I want to bring you some updates about that. Okay, so again, as you can see on the screen, the title of the article is "Electronics Are Set to Get Even More Expensive as chip giants hike their prices." So we talked about it right here on the channel, y'all. It seems like the cost of everything now has increased, right? Do you agree or disagree? Do you feel like the cost, whether it's groceries, gas, clothing, all type of things have I think it's a lag, right? Is there a lag as I'm sharing my screen? I'm gonna do is stop sharing. You all let me know if there's a lag as I'm speaking. Let me see. Maybe I need to stop sharing. Maybe that'll be better. Is that better? You all let me know. Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and continue with the show. So basically, what I want to share with you all. Let me see. Okay, I think that's much better. For some reason, when I'm sharing the screen, it seemed like there was a lag on my end, but I think everything is okay now. All right, y'all. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Again, this comes from CNBC. I would like to know your thoughts in the comments, okay? According to CNBC, products that rely on semiconductors are set to get even more expensive as chip foundries prepare to increase their prices. That's according to analysts, okay? Now, again, semiconductors are materials that are able to conduct electricity, and that in turn allows your computers, other electronic devices to function. Okay. All right. Someone shared that they're listening at work. Hey, we're coming on. You know, I appreciate you for tuning in, listening at work. Now that my schedule is the way it is now, I'll be able to come on live during your lunch hour, maybe sometimes early morning, late at night, to give you all updates. So thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure, if you haven't already, that you subscribe to the channel. Okay. All right, y'all. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Okay. Now, products, again, let me start over. Products that rely on semiconductors are set to get even more expensive as chip foundries prepare to increase their prices. That's according to analysts. Now, the world's biggest foundries, listen to this, y'all, including Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, Samsung, and Intel, are considering further price hikes, analysts told CNBC. Okay. Foundries, this is a quote by a semiconductor analyst who told CNBC, foundries have already increased prices 10 to 20% in the past year. And he was further quoted as saying, we expect a further round of price increases this year, but smaller. Now, the foundries, the article says, are increasing their prices partly because they can. So think about it, y'all. The price of everything is going up. So I guess they're saying, hey, if this sector or this business sector, they're raising their prices over here, then hey, because everything is going up, everybody's raising prices all across the board, we might as well raise our prices as well. But do you think that's really a need? You all let me know your thoughts in the comments, okay? The article also continues by saying, here's another quote. The chemicals, listen to this, y'all, the chemicals used in chip manufacturing have increased 10 to 20%. Okay. And here's another quote. Similarly, the labor required to build semiconductor facilities has also seen shortages and increased wage rates. So it sounds like They're blaming what has happened on a lack of labor shortages. We talked about that right here on the channel as well. And also increased wage rates. Businesses, many companies, many businesses have raised their employee wages. And so, because of that, because they're using those steps to, retain their current employees, and I've talked about this before, y'all, even with the shipping, the supply chain crisis, they're going to whatever cost that the companies are taking on because of, what they're saying is what they're blaming on the pandemic or labor shortages, things of that nature, an increase in um, the cost to manufacture or make these goods. They're going to pass those costs on to you and I as the end consumer. So let me know your thoughts about that. Let me know how you feel on that. Okay. Now, the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, who they also they use an abbreviation TSMC. They have warned their clients for the second time, y'all, in less than a year, that it plans to raise prices. Okay, that was a report that came out last Tuesday, citing people briefed on the matter. Okay, now there is it says the Hsinchu headquartered firm is reportedly planning, listen to this, y'all, they're reportedly planning to increase its prices by single digit percentage points. Okay. It has cited, the article says, looming inflation concerns. Okay. We talked about that here on the channel where, there was a survey done, a report done, and many people in America had growing concerns about inflation. The Not only the cost of goods rising, but the rate at which it's rising, very rapidly. Okay. Someone commented, all this overseas parts problems will only get worse. The US doesn't make their own socks anymore. I'm telling you, that's where we are. It seems that that's where we are in 2022. Okay. All right. The headquarter firm, the article says, has cited looming inflation concerns, rising costs, and its own expansion plans. Okay, so this company it is planning to expand, and those are the reasons, it says, for price increases. Okay, so keep in mind that some of these companies are taking advantage of opportunities to grow and expand, and again, they're going to pass that cost on to you and I as the end consumers. Okay, are you all enjoying this episode far? Make sure you give me some feedback. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Okay. Now the article continues by saying elsewhere, Samsung is set to increase its chip making prices by up to 20%. That's according to a Bloomberg report that came out last Friday. Now, Samsung did not immediately respond to what the article is saying is a CNBC request for comment. But here is a quote. It says, with the continued shortage of semiconductor chips, the manufacturers are able to charge a premium as customers continue pushing to secure supply. Did y'all hear that? Let me read that again, okay? Here's a quote by an analyst who said, with a continued shortage of semiconductor chips, the manufacturers are able to charge a premium as customers continue pushing to secure supply. So again, with the supply and demand, y'all, that's going to further drive up prices. Anytime there's a short supply or decreased supply, and the demand is still there, prices are going to increase, and that's where we are right now. Okay. um and this person added that the firm expects the shortage to start to ease on certain chips by the end of the year. Okay. All right. Rising with inflation, the article continues. A Forrester analyst told CNBC that rising chip prices should surprise nobody in the current economic climate, adding that he expects prices to rise about 10 to 15%, or roughly in line with inflation. Over the last 2 years, the article says, the pandemic has helped to fuel a global chip shortage. Now, let me know your thoughts on this. If you have some insight into this, please share it in the comments. You know, um, with the when the pandemic happened, of course, we know, it seemed like the world shut down, businesses shut down, schools shut down, factories shut down, and there were in the particular places where these components are made, there was no one that was there to make them because the factory shut down, from my understanding. So do you all feel like this is the real reason why that we have a global chip shortage, because of the factories and the businesses had to shut down? Or do you think that this global chip shortage was something that was already in the making even before the pandemic happened? Okay. Um, Someone shared in the comment, at some point, no one will afford anything that, I'm sorry, someone in the comments shared, let me make sure I read the comment correctly. At some point, no one will afford anything like that. Survival will be central. And you touched on something very important. Survival. We're living in a time now where you all see the news articles, the things that are happening. Many of those topics I've covered here on the channel. But I think that, especially when we're talking about food shortages and water shortages, I think that each of us, our families and our homes, we need to learn how to be as self-sufficient, as we can, whether it's by growing our own food, cooking our own food. When you cook your own food, when you're able to cook your own food, you know exactly what's in your food. I'm going to be bringing some information about that. Um, you know, and so you all make sure you stay tuned and subscribe to the channel. Okay. Um, but let me continue on with the article, which is not that much longer. Okay. So, um, chip makers are, here's a quote. It says, chip makers face their own increasing supply issues that are exacerbated by the Ukraine war. Okay. Now, we've talked about that, y'all. It seems like with a lot of different things that have been happening, you know, our world leaders, they're quick to point the finger, not only world leaders, but maybe business leaders as well, the CEOs of many, many companies. They're quick to point the finger at, this is happening because of the Ukraine war. Someone shared in the chat, it's all controlled demolition. Okay. Could you be more specific and let me know what you mean by that? I kind of have an idea, but I just want to make sure I understand from your viewpoint. Okay. Um, a lot of things are going on. I told you all that, with the Ukraine war, well, with the alleged Ukraine Russian war, um, I found it, as I started doing more research on it, I found it was very alarming that so many resources, so many resources, so many resources, um, that we use, whether it be energy, whether it be food like wheat, so many critical resources that are, used throughout the world come from this region where, now they're fighting and they're saying, these are war torn areas. So it makes me, it makes me question, is this something that was planned? Like, how is it that the specific area where, now there's so much fighting going on, how is it that this specific area of the world supplies so many resources that are needed throughout the world? You all let me know your thoughts on that. I've asked that question before, but I would like to know your thoughts on that. Okay. Again, let me continue the quote. This is a quote from the Forrester analyst, who said chip makers face their own increasing supply issues that are exacerbated by the Ukraine war, and demand remains high while supply remains constrained. Okay, we just talked about that. The quote continues by saying energy prices are also on a tear, including electricity. Chip making requires an enormous amount of electrical power. Now, I need to go ahead and do a separate video on this, but I do have some information, some reports that, as we go into the summer months, more people are, trying to cool their home, cool their homes. They're using energy, and people with knowledge at these electricity companies, they have already issued warnings that in some places we may see, or there may be blackouts, higher energy prices because of what's going on. So I'm going to be doing a separate video on that, but that's something to keep in mind of as well. I pay attention to when they, or how we always say they, when they issue some type of warning. Of course, right here on the channel, Andrea Speaks TV, we've already talked about that. The fact that energy crisis. Remember what happened in Texas several months ago, where for what at least several people were without power for a week, and it got very cold. There was a winter storm. You all remember that? Very unusual weather. I've talked about unusual weather patterns. So these are things that we need to keep in mind, and we need to start planning. I know a lot of people right now, not to get too far off topic, but because we're speaking about energy, I know a lot of people, including myself, my family, we have been looking into solar energy sources, and other somewhat safe forms of you know generating power in the event that we cannot use electricity. Okay, I encourage you to do your research as well. Okay. All right, someone shared research what the World Economic Forum is doing with their reset plans, unelected body making world policy. Okay, I have heard of about that. A lot of people are referring to, some people are, I'll say some people are referring to what's happening as the Great Reset. In other words, they're saying like, there's being a reset of society. So when you mention that, it made me think of, that term. So I do need, as a matter of fact, let me write that down. And if anyone else is watching and reading the chat, so let's make sure we research the World Economic Forum. Okay. And unelected bodies. So these are just people who were just chosen by a specific group to make world policies. Wow. What do you all think about that? And who are the people who are choosing making world policy? Okay, thank you so much for sharing that. Money is failing. The dollar does not stretch as far as it used to. I've shared with you all that I shop at a farmer's market, and I go there. We go there versus your traditional grocery stores, because a lot of times you can get most times you can get fresh food, organic food, and it doesn't cost as much as it would in the other stores. And so even now, the food is even higher. The food is getting higher even at the farmers market. Okay. All right. So Klaus Schwab. I'm going to write that down as well. Okay. See, that's what I'm saying, y'all. This is a channel where we share information with each other, and let's do our research. Okay. As much as I can, before I report something, I try to make sure before I report news, I want to make sure my news is factual. There's been research on it. And so, you all do the same. I want to encourage you to do the same. Okay. All right. So just a few more points I want to make, and then I have to get out of here. I have several things that I have to do today. I will be back on live later tonight. I don't have a time yet, but make sure you subscribe to the channel. That way, you'll be notified when I do go live. Okay. Now, okay, we just talked about energy prices. We need to all think about other alternative forms of energy. How can we cook our food? How can we keep our food cold? In the event, how can we survive? Okay, in the event that we don't have power for a certain period of time. Okay. Now, the article continues by saying, despite an intensifying cost of living crisis. Okay, I think we can all agree about that. The simple cost of living is increasing, right? The article says companies that integrate chips into their products may have to start passing on costs to consumers. I said that, y'all. I said that today, and I said that many months ago, right? Especially when we were talking about the supply chain crisis. Okay. Whatever costs, and I'm going to say it again, whatever costs the companies are incurring, whether it's to rent out or to purchase more shipping containers, or because at the time, there were so few shipping containers because they were stuck out in the ocean waiting to reach the dock and to be unloaded. The companies were charged higher prices to ship their goods. So best believe that they're going to pass those higher costs on to us as the consumers. Okay. All right. Now, The article also says increased prices for chips will add stress to all of the downstream customers who will either need to pass on these price increases to their customers, which will be tough in the current environment, or accept lower profitability. Now, y'all think they're going to accept lower profitability? I don't think so. Okay. I don't know. You all let me know. Do you think these companies are going to say, hey, you know what? We're not going to put our customers through this. Let's just accept lower profitability. Do y'all think they're going to do that? Okay. Now, this analyst also said that he expects PCs, personal computers, cars, toys, consumer electronics, appliances, and many other products to get more expensive. Okay. Margins, he said, are already tight on such products, so they have no choice but to raise prices. Okay. So, again, y'all, we're here today. I wanted to give you a warning, a heads up that in the coming months, even maybe even now, expect to pay more on electronics. And also, when I was asking you all when you're in the market to buy like a computer, television, things like that, I also want to say, hey, cars are a part of this too. Semiconductors, chips are used in cars as well. So, what do you all think? Now knowing this information, what do you think will happen? What are some headlines? What do you think we will see about electronics in the coming months? Okay, let me know your thoughts. I appreciate each and every one of you all, again, like I said, for taking time out of your day to come on and join me and support the channel. I want to again invite you to subscribe, join our community. We are people who, no matter where we live, we all have at least one thing in common. We're concerned about the times that we're living in, and we want to know what's going on so that we can make a plan. We can be proactive in making a plan to protect ourselves and our families. So, again, thank you all so much. I have several errands to run today, but I will be back on. I will be back on live later tonight. We have a lot to talk about. It's probably going to be a combined episode. It's probably going to be a combined episode where I'm talking about so many different topics, including one of my main topics is um, this current thing that is happening in parts of the world. Could it be the next pandemic? I want to talk about that. Maybe you know what I'm talking about, but I want you to come back later on tonight, maybe around, just to kind of give you an idea of the time. I would say maybe around 10 o'clock p.m. I may say 9 o'clock p.m. Let's just say 9 o'clock p.m. so that I can give you some information on that. Talk about, this new thing that's going on, monkeypox. Let's just go ahead and call it what it is, monkeypox. Where did this come from? What's going on with that? I'm going to give you some news and information. I'm also going to tie it in with something that I talked about months ago. Okay. You know what? My husband and I were talking about this, y'all. A lot of times it's like they tell us, we find out they tell us, hey, this is what's going on, this is what's coming. And it almost seems like it's up to us to connect the dots about what's really going on. So let's go ahead and say 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just kind of, if you want to be a part or join in um, to the live video and tune in, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. I'm going to be talking about that, as well as, many people are still concerned about inflation. We're just going to talk about different topics. So you all let me know in the comments, what are some things that I need to talk about, that we need to talk about, and try to get a better understanding of what's going on, what's really going on. Okay. Again, this is Andrea. I'm Andrea from Andrea Speaks TV, and I appreciate your support. Again, you can, if you need emergency food supplies, survival needs, make sure you check out my website, preparewithandrea.com. I have shared with you all many things that my family and I have gotten, and these are things that we're using, and so I want to share it with you. And also, if you are on Instagram, make sure you follow me at Andrea Speaks TV on Instagram. I just today did my first ever Instagram live. So if you're on Instagram, I'm still a little bit. I say that I'm still a little bit fairly new to Instagram, but if you are on Instagram, make sure you follow me at Andrea Speaks TV. So again, God bless you all. Thank you all so much for your support. If you're just tuning in, if you're just joining, make sure you go back and rewatch this live broadcast, live video. Leave me some comments, some feedback in the chat, and let me know your thoughts about what's going on. With everything that's going on, rising prices. For a lot of people, it seems like, times are getting tougher. Um, particularly if you are someone who, may or may not be working. Maybe only one person in the household is working, or maybe you come from a single parent, household where, you have a child or children that you're raising, and you're just, trying to just make ends meet. I did a video on the speaking of parents and families. I did a video on the baby formula shortage and what's going on with that. And when I was in the store, I didn't film these people, out of respect. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to disrespect them. But just seeing how disappointed, I got a chance to see firsthand the disappointment on the parents' faces when, they turned the corner and they were right there looking, as I was looking, at the bare shelves, empty shelves, where there should have been baby formula. It was sad um, to see their disappointment, not being able to find, the formula that they needed for their child or their children. So I'm also going to be talking about tonight the fact that I think 78,000 pounds, I believe, was the headline. 78,000 pounds of baby formula has now arrived in the U.S. From other parts of the world, I believe. So we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about, we're going to ask some questions. We're going to have a conversation. So let's say 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be going live to talk about some different topics. Um, that we need to know about, things we need to know about. These things are not always, some of the topics that I talk about are headline news, but some of them aren't. So either way, I encourage you to subscribe to the channel. Not only should you subscribe to the channel to stay informed and connected to our community here, but also when you subscribe, make sure you hit all notifications. That way, whenever I go live or I upload new videos, you will be informed. So again, I'm Andrea from Andrea Speaks TV. Thank you all so much for your support. I appreciate you, and I will chat with you all soon. You all take care. God bless, and have a great day. Thank you all.